The submission of the papers for this subcommittee this year was more than last year, and primarily focused on the optical acceleration of electrons and also ultra-short pulse characterization at the second pulses, and also a number of papers related to optical spectroscopy and ultra-short pulse measurement techniques. For example, in the attosecond pulse generation field, now the techniques of the generation really evolved so much that researchers are ready to apply for molecular investigations and to understand the effects of the carrier envelope phase stabilization on the different nonlinear processes. The most submission of the papers in my committee really received on the ultra-short pulse measurements and characterizations, and these are really important, especially when you would like to start applying these lasers. And other than understanding the initial generation processes, it's important to understand in the experimental interactions, then in the laboratory, what are the critical components. For example, the contrast. In an ultra-short pulse, it's very important that how much energy is in the tail of the optical pulses. And for future high-intensity interactions, it's extremely critical to keep this contrast value very low. I mean, the contrast is very high, meaning that the pulse energy at the beginning and at the end of the pulse is very small relative to the main pulse energy. And numerous paper submission was received in this field. I expect very strong attendance, two areas in the subcommittee topics. One of them is the ultra-short pulse generation measurement techniques and also that second pulse applications in the molecular spectroscopy. This is interesting because the topics is nicely ties together with the special prize was awarded in the first day to Margaret Merlin and Henry Kapping, and these sessions now covering the area what they initiated a couple of years ago, and they awarded for the Csaba Prize right now. Also, another topic is the electron and particle acceleration induced by ultra-short pulses, and this is very interesting because after the demonstration of the initial principles, now there are several questions which really created strong debate, and different opinions occur in the community. And I expect some debates and discussions during the sessions, and this is really related to the injection mechanisms, the very strongly nonlinear processes which happens in the ultra-short pulse generated laser plasmas can accommodate variety of potential injection mechanisms from the point of view of the theory, but practice will decide eventually what is the real mechanism. So this is what I expect. Multiple groups submitted presentations, and also there are nice tutorial and invited speakers, and I expect in this area some heated debates. Our tutorial speaker this year is Jean-Claude Dios, who is reviewing the ultra-short pulse generation measurement techniques which arrived in the 90s and the beginning of this century for the attosecond pulse measurement and characterization. And he will also review the carrier envelope phase importance and role in these measurements.